Hey everybody, it's Deanna with toolsofenergyprotection.com, your energy shift expert, and I'm going to give a little time for everybody to get on. And the people on Instagram are already jumping on, was getting on there a little bit earlier. So if you are on Instagram, I appreciate you being patient while we're getting started. And I'm hoping that those of you that are on Facebook will jump on with me live tonight, because we've got some things to cover, very interesting things to cover. This is, of course, February 2019, as you know. And there are a whole lot of energy shifts that are happening this month that line up with different frequencies that were aligned about the same time that Nixon was in office. And, of course, the Watergate and the impeachment stuff happened. So right now, the energies that we're finding for these different frequencies are talking about self-love. And self-love is a huge subject and a huge dynamic. And so I was talking a little bit about a post that I put up on my website about belief systems and fully shifting into gear and, you know, expressing your talents and your gifts. And all of that has to do with self-love. So a few people have contacted me this week about the aches and pains in their bodies. And so tonight in my inner circle, I began to focus on what aches and pains are currently in your body, and what are they telling you, and how does that look? So this information tonight, please do hit the share button here in the bottom if you're on Facebook Live, or if you're following later on YouTube, to share this video with folks that are really having a lot of discomfort in their bodies in the month of February. And even if you aren't, hang on, because self-love is the dominant energy that's driving, if you will, the crazy train. For those of you that are spiritually gifted, for those of you that are spiritually awake and you're moving forward in your life, you're going to find that there's going to be this up and down in your body, especially right now, because the liver and the kidneys are involved in what's happening with the way that we're processing energy, which comes down to frustration, or it comes down to a lot of fear. And so many of us are being asked to change the way we do things new and different, even for me. Even tonight, as I'm filming this video live, I noticed that there's a little bit difference in the people that would normally come and watch me on Tuesday. And I'm starting to wonder, is it actually Tuesday? Because not the same number of people hop on. So I guess I have to do some things differently. Maybe make more announcements that I'm going to be doing Tuesday Night Live. Maybe invite more people on Instagram, or invite more people on Facebook. But there is a change that's going on, and it's very distinct, that we can't continue to do things the way we used to, because they're not going to equal out the same kind of results. So the universe is pushing us forward to try something new. And one of my very close friends and a contemporary in this business, I contacted her earlier tonight. And I said, hey, you know, some things are not happening in my life the way they used to. It's a little scary. And she said, have you tried something new? Is the universe telling you and you to try something new that maybe you just haven't stepped out and done? You haven't taken that step forward. So I am going to ask that everybody who's either on Tonight Live, here or here, I don't know about how do you share on Instagram, I'm just learning to use that, but to share this video, because I'm going to go through some things tonight. My earpiece here. I'm going to go through some things tonight that are going to help you to understand where you are with self-love as you're going forward, and in that dynamic, how to shift and change and do things differently. And it's in doing these things differently, it's in taking the risk and going forward, that you're going to find a new space in the month of February. Each week, my guys were telling me on Sunday, it's the frequency will shift and change every week in the month of February. And it's asking us to change our dynamic. I've had a couple of emails this week about people saying, hey, you know, Deanna, I can see things that other people can't see, or I can sense things other people can't see. And it seems to be happening a lot more. One gal, if she's watching over in Great Britain, wrote me and said that she would think or focus on something, and she'd ask God for that something. And if she got it, then she knew that God was answering her and was on track. But if she didn't get it, then she felt like she wasn't. And what was happening is that this girl is very spiritually gifted. And she is able to manifest in real time, which is a huge gift. You know, can you imagine being able to be aligned with winning a lottery ticket and boom, it happens quickly? Well, I don't know about the lottery, because in the lottery has a lot to do with our ego, and ego can get in the way of our manifesting. But with the self-love, with the changing of the energies towards self-love in this month of February, which is funny because it also aligns with what? In America, Valentine's Day. And I played a few weeks ago that song, Crazy Little Thing Called Love. And he says, I just can't handle it. You know, he gets shaky, you know, and he can't sleep. So with self-love right now and what is going on that dynamic is we're being asked to make a choice between, are we going to live in the 3D, everyday, mundane world with our blinders on, with no connection to the divine? And for those of you that have been spiritually gifted for a while, those of you that are intuitive, you've been sitting on the back fence and going, oh, well, you know, I don't know, because, you know, if I claim my gifts, then these people are going to think this about me. Or, you know, one of the things I read the other day is somebody had posted on another site about how all this metaphysical woo-woo was the farthest thing from God, Spirit, or Source. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, God, Spirit, or Source created everything in our universe. So how can looking at where we're going through a metaphysical standpoint be a problem? Flat out. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of comments later, either private message or in this video. But everything on this planet, everything in our universe was created by God, Spirit, or Source for us to learn, for our admonition, for us furthering ourselves as spirit beings. And so to deny that we have any connection, that our soul is somehow not connected to God, Spirit, or Source, okay, I'm going to risk it. It's blasphemous. It just really is. And maybe that's not the right use of the word. But I'm doing the best I can to get across to you that this whole month of February, the way the planets are aligning, Chiron is coming in, and all these other things, they're really pushing us to accelerate ourselves and be more connected with the divine. There's nothing wrong with being connected with Earth Mother. We stand on her. She gives us our nourishment. I mean, food just doesn't drop out of heaven. You know, we grow it on this planet. And too many people are ruining this planet right now. You know, people are tapping into all these natural resources and just pilfering them. And it's a horrible thing that's happening to this planet right now. There needs to be some restraint, because this is the mother. I mean, seriously, I don't think any of us were inside of our mothers for 9 months beating on our mothers saying, hey, you know, and trying to destroy her. You know, that was our womb. The earth is our support system. So start with learning to appreciate the earth, and then appreciate yourself. And there's some people that may not like this message, but self-love is huge in the month of February. That means eating healthier. That means following along with what foods are going to support your body at certain times. My inner circle talks about that. It's about, oh, thank you for the thumbs up. It's about knowing who you are in space and time and who you're not. And tonight, my inner circle, we talked about the inner child. And if you in your infancy or growing up were told that your spiritual gifts, maybe you were intuitive and you just knew things were going to happen before they happened, or maybe you just sensed there was a bad situation before it happened, or maybe you even had flashes of the future, and you were told that was bad or wrong, you have repressed that. You've pushed it down, and now you just kind of play with it a little bit, and you're afraid to come out. It's those skills, people, that are going to take you from February into March into the remainder of this year and the rest of your lives. This is go time. I would love to work with you. I would love to help you, but it's paramount that you work on yourself now and you bring that self-love forward. You know, I'm not telling you to spew all over everybody else and say, well, I'm the most important thing and nobody else is. That's not what I'm saying. I'm asking you to reach deep within inside yourself, perhaps your inner child if you like, and find out what's blocking you from being okay with these gifts. Because there's going to come a time when you are going to desire to know what's going to happen, maybe on the 15th of February for the people in the U.S. Or maybe you'll have a desire to know where there's some fresh water because you don't know. And if you're connected more to the divine, that information is going to come more readily. Plain and simple, flat out. And so a couple of things over the years, I have done due diligence to attempt to relate to people what I do and what I offer. And no matter what I've said in the past or done, it doesn't seem to translate into the here and now. And so that's one of the things my guides were telling me. You have to change what you're doing so that people can understand it more readily. So I'm going to begin to post on Facebook. And for those of you that are not Facebookers, I will post it on Instagram as well. If you're watching me on YouTube, you'll want to go down here below where I've got all the little links and click on that, either Instagram or Facebook, whatever's your preference. And if you're watching my blog, same thing. And I'm going to begin to post things to support you. Like a couple days ago, I posted something that I was making, a soup. And in that soup, there was a lot of ingredients to help support the human body moving forward during these changing times. I'm also going to relate to you things that I am doing to help people who are, doing one-to-one sessions with me and let you know what that looks like so that you can relate to it, hopefully, in a manner that's helpful to you. But the bottom line is that I work with God, Spirit, or Source to identify what energy is in your body that's got you in dis-ease, unhappy, and to bring that energy out so that you don't have to store it in your body anymore. You don't have to play with it in your heart and mind anymore. And you can make these changes more easily and more readily. So there's a relationship between our hearts and our minds. And so I would like to also address, for those of you that are hanging out, that a lot of people in the metaphysical community have been talking about how we're going to the fifth dimension and it's a fifth dimensional frequency, and if you're not on board, you're going to get left behind. And that really upset me because that brings fear to a lot of people. They're like, well, what's the fifth dimension? And if I'm there, and what's going to happen? Is this the rapture? That brings a lot of fear. And fear is a mind killer, people. It's a mind killer. It's not heart-based. And I know that some of these people probably didn't mean to create fear. But if you know what's happening, put it out there, people. And put it out in a way people will understand. So here goes. The third dimension is a vibrational frequency that's this. The 3D world, everything you see around you and process with your eyes and ears, that's the 3D world and taste. Okay? The fourth dimension is about right up in here. It's our connection to God, Spirit, or Source. It's where our soul accesses God, Spirit, or Source. It's called a super consciousness. And then above that, or if you will, the different frequency is the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension is what's called Christ consciousness. That's why so many places in the Bible it says guard your heart and your mind and keep yourself clean in all different kinds of ways, because when you are drugged down by anxiety, by fear, by phobia, by worry, you are not connecting at this level as much. And I can see by the number of people watching tonight that my numbers just dropped, so apparently this might be a little heavy for some people. Sorry. but it's the truth. And it's time for the truth to be heard. It's time for people to know what's going on. So the third dimension, that's the human body. That's where the ego is. There's nothing wrong with your ego. It's part of existence. And then there's the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension is the Christ consciousness. It's where the frequency, if you will, is more open to God, Spirit, or Source. Thank you, Jennifer. She says that's very true. Thank you for that support. It's not easy to get on camera and tell you all what's going on because I have my own fear. I have my own fear that people are going to think I'm more of a weirdo than I normally am. So thank you for that support. But again, let's get back to this fifth dimensional frequency. So here's the human mind processing things in the 3D world, everything that it knows and sees, and going to work every day and making a living, and what's happening in the government. Okay, then there's your super conscious mind. It's the mind that accesses Source, God, Spirit, divine love. And then above that is the Christ consciousness. That's where God, Spirit, Source, energy is. So what does that mean? What that means is that if you are not awake, if you're not consciously experiencing what's going on at this level, then you're just in this level. So what does that mean? It means that if you have a relationship with God, Spirit, or Source, you're going to be more in a vibration of less stress. You're going to experience more joy, no matter what's going on around you. If you'd like, if you're biblically oriented and you would like, go read the story about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. 3 guys told to do something that was against the way they believed. They said no. They got put into a fiery furnace. I mean, I can't imagine being pushed into a fiery furnace, singe your hairs. And they were connected to that level. They knew that they were protected no matter what. And they were willing to walk into, well, they were actually pushed into a fire. And they came out untouched, unscathed, because that's how much they had faith. That's how much they had the connection. Am I recommending you walk in fire? No way. But we all have our own fires. How many of you right now are struggling with going forward in your life? I know of at least 3 people personally. So what does that look like? Go read my blog. I wrote it all out. But basically, stepping forward and changing the way that I do things. When the things I did before kind of sort of worked. Thank you for the thumbs. And now here comes February, and the way I did things in the past is no longer working. No longer working. It was for a while, and now it's just done. And I thought, oh, somebody put a curse on me or something. No. It's about my own internal compass and the direction that I'm heading, and what has worked for me isn't going to, and I either change or starve. So some of you may be feeling this, like the way I described it earlier in my group is it's like having a skateboard with only a wheel in the middle, and I'm kind of going like this, trying to find my new balance. So if you're watching and you feel this same way, and you're feeling fear about going forward, you're not sure why, and you keep self-sabotaging yourself, like today, I was attempting to do something that was fairly easy. It was to take my business forward, to be of a better service to everybody. I wrote it on my whiteboard and put out the time I was going to work on it. And it just seemed like I got angrier and angrier and angrier when I was getting ready to do it. And I'm like, why am I so angry? This is silly. I'm doing something I love. I love spirituality. I love working with my clients. I love showing people how to connect to God, Spirit, or Source. And to have that open communication and use their gifts and lead happy lives. Why am I so angry? Personal reasons. But I had to dig deep and find out why I was so angry. And the anger got stored in my body, which affects my body, which affects my ability to perform, and I'm tired and fatigued. So how many of you out there have been experiencing, give me a thumbs up or a smile or an angry face or something, how many of you are experiencing those exact same things right now? Great. I'm sorry that you're experiencing those things. Oh, I got a tear face. But I'm glad that you shared. Because this is where we are. Here's January and here's March, and it's a big step up here. And if you take that step, we did lots of inner work. Thank you for the hearts and stuff. We did a lot of inner work last month. We did it all last year, and we thought we were done. Well, we were preparing for now. So I'd like for you to imagine that you're in a hot air balloon, and you know when they get ready to leave, they throw the bags out, and then they float up. How many bags do you have left, and where are they coming from? So, oh, thank you again for the hearts. Thank you, and the smiles and the little sad faces. So, I will meditate and pray and ask God to guide me on how to not only help myself, but to help everybody else. And so I was given a new technique last week, and I've been working with it with just key people here and there to see how it would shape up. And I've gotten some really wonderful responses. So I know I have been told that some of my clients tell me, you know, Deanna, I don't understand half of what you're saying, but I know that I feel better. Another thing I'm working to change. So this new technique is absolutely amazing. And I've seen some amazing results with 3 of my clients that I handpicked. And I asked them, you know, can we try this technique? It was something new that God's Spirit Source gave me. So the way that my business runs and what happens for me is I often get or receive information on how to help people to progress, heal, let go of pain in the energy shifts. And that's something in the past I really didn't share. So tonight, here it is in full disclosure. And I'm sharing it the best way I know how. So if you're on YouTube and you're seeing this later and you don't understand it, post a question, same on Instagram and Facebook, and I will answer them, or you can private message me. But as you know, our bodies are salt, water, and electric. Science, no brainer. Our bodies and our hearts are energy in motion, or emotions. Think about how your body feels when you've been frustrated or your adrenal glands have been on, you know, because you're in fight or flight. Or I heard tonight, I liked it, fight, flight, or frozen. And think about how your body feels, how heavy, how tired, emotionally exhausted that you are. Those are energies as well. So as the planets shift and the frequency shifts, it causes our bodies to shift. And it causes our minds and our hearts to shift, and we experience things, and sometimes we experience physical aches and pains. That's what I put in the title, was how is your body telling you, what is your body telling you about love, aches, pains, and a new moon? So a new moon ushers in new energy. It fills up the empty spots that we have available from the stuff we pushed out. Well, this new moon is not waiting. It's not waiting for you to move stuff out. It is moving in. And it is pouring energy in for this uplift in February. So I've had people that have contacted me about their pains. The 3 people I worked with, one lady had a pain in her hip. She's had it for, I believe, 20 years. And it's gotten worse and worse and worse over the last few weeks. And she thought, you know, maybe she was going to have some physical surgery done. So I selected her for this new technique. So here's what the new technique looks like. I asked God, Spirit, or Source, what's going on inside your body? What is the emotional dis-ease that you're storing there? If you look at Chinese medicine, they talk about different body parts storing or harboring different energies, even though they don't want to. And thank you very much for the people that are joining and in the feed and telling me they're joining. Thank you. That means a lot to me, especially right now as I'm making my own changes and transitions. So the human body, the different organs, according to Chinese medicine, will store or harbor energies even if they don't want to. Okay? There's a lot more in that subject. I know a couple of beautiful people who practice Chinese medicine, and it's amazing. So I'm just like barely touching it. But what also happens is that in our spinal column, we store energy. And our backs are actually misaligned a lot of time because of the stress. And if you think about it, if you want to strengthen your back, they tell you to do crunches or sit-ups to strengthen what? The abdominal muscles. Because the abdominal muscles, when they're strengthened, hold the backbone a little bit better than if we have big flabby bellies. Okay, so I found online a picture that I'm going to share with you so that you can see the different colors in the spinal column, and the different colors have to do with the different energy centers known as chakras. We're still talking about the technique, but I'm sharing how this looks. Okay, so here it is. Let's see, over here. Okay, and so the root chakra, or the root energy color, is red, right? And then it goes up, and then to yellow, and green is the heart, and then it goes up from there. And so each of the pulses of your energy center from the different parts of that align with different parts of the spine are going to send out different energies. So if you right now are magneting certain energies to yourself, then if you're angry, or you're feeling this fear, you're feeling this frustration, what's going to happen is that energy is going to store itself right in here somewhere. And you can feel it. Let me see if I can point this backwards. You can feel it from fatigue. So I want you to imagine that this spinal column is like a storage vessel. And if you have swallowed BS for years, and you've brought it down here, and it's now in your stomach region or your gut region, then how can you have any instinct about what's going on, your gut instinct? Haven't you ever people said to you when you're going to make a decision, so how does your gut feel? What does your gut tell you? Well, if you've been stuffing things that have made you not like yourself, self-loathing, self-hate, self-deprecation, not being able to move forward, feeling stuck, and your gut hurts, it's because you got so much crap that's stored down here energetically and emotionally, you can't move forward. Right? So this stuff that's in here has got to come out. And about a week and a half ago, my energy that was down there had to come out for me to step forward and take a new direction. And, it came up and out, and it wasn't pleasant. But I've done a lot of work on myself. I'm not finished. It comes in layers. But this was some deep stuff that I had swallowed about myself years ago. Had to come out for me to move forward, to stand up and be heard, to help people. So here's what the new technique looks like. When we get together, I will allow you about 10 or 15 minutes to tell me your story. Why do you feel stuck? What's not working for you? Why do you feel like you can't go forward? What is it that you really want that either you keep pushing away, or it seems like it's eluding you? And we'll really look at that, and we're going to write up, what is that? What does it look like? Are you desiring to make more money, but yet you can't seem to land an interview? Are you desiring to develop your spiritual gifts? Yes, I'm talking to you. I got Instagram on this side and Facebook on this side. But you've been desiring to use your spiritual gifts and get out there, but you're too afraid. So some of you are feeling like you want to do more and you can't. Some of you are feeling like, from what I've been told, you're so tired, you're so fatigued, you don't know what to do. That's because of this teeter-totter, and it's time to get off. So the new technique, number one, about 10, 15 minutes, we're going to talk about you. We're going to talk about your story, why you feel stuck, why you don't feel good, what's in your gut that's conflicting. Then step number 2, I'm going to tap into the angels of light. Well, not tap into them, but talk to them and ask them to help clear your energy field. What's an energy field? For those of you that are uninitiated, it's energy that surrounds you that's like an egg shape, right? And it's a real thing. You ever had somebody throw a punch at you and pull it and you're like, yeah, Well, you can see it coming and that's why you pull away. But energetically, we take things every day and we don't even think about it. For those of you ladies that are in an office, how many times has your boss or someone else yelled at you, stabbed you in the back is what they call it. And you just feel really icky and you can't wait to go home. Sometimes you get sick and have a forced day off. Those are energies, people. Real simple. Those are what energies feel like. Those what our energies look like. And what's happened for a lot of you is you've been told over the years you weren't good enough. You couldn't, or you were shown, sorry if I can get this in here, here's your mouth. You were told you weren't good enough. You would never be good enough. You couldn't measure up. And all that stuff got stuffed down here in the gut. And so now in February, we're being asked to love ourselves and let that gut stuff out. Otherwise, our gut instinct won't work. So once I connect into that, and usually God, Spirit, or Source will give me a pretty clear picture about what those energies are and where they came from. And once we have those energies, then I'm going to shift it through a tonal frequency to get it out. I'm going to ask the angels of light to wrap their fingers around it and yank it out. And then we're going to put a love frequency in its place, which until you've experienced it, I will admit is hard to explain and hard for people to believe. But the lady that I worked with, and then we're going to apply something called the Fibonacci code if you're into all that nerdy stuff. But the lady I worked with that had hip pain, after we did this kind of work and talked about it and shift the frequency, she says, I have no pain. It's gone. Another woman had indigestion because she was tired of trying to digest what people were telling her. She was being told she was less than, she couldn't do this, she couldn't do that. And people actually forcibly tried to get her to quit doing certain things. And so she had indigestion issues because of it. We worked together. Next day she texts me and she says, my indigestion is gone. These are the kind of energies that can be moved fairly easily. And then I will give you something to help you. I'll give you an exercise so you can help, stabilize it as you leave, kind of like putting a cast on something in the old days. But that's how it works. And I'm going to look and see if there's any questions to help you. Let's see here. Yes, one lady says, Brenda says, I was so tired today and lots of neck and back pain, also crabby. Normal with what's going on here. Normal because of the frequency changes and what we're being asked to do. Hello to Christy. Let's see, yes, Jennifer, she's had fatigue and pain in the last couple of weeks also. Karen, hi. Kathy, thank you for joining us. Sorry, I can't see you. Who else? Looks like Janine maybe joined us too. So I've had quite a few people that have told me, I'm really interested in what you do, but I'm not sure, I don't want to take a risk. All right. Those of you that are in pain, for those of you that are anxious, for those of you that are fatigued, and you're looking for some help, then you can sign up. And here's the best deal of all. On Friday, this coming Friday, I'm going to be doing half-hour sessions. I normally only do hour to hour and 25 minutes. I'm doing half-hour sessions for those of you who want to try this out and want to see. And your investment for this 30 minutes is $45. Okay? Would you rather go down and spend $45 on, pills or whatnot and keep doing what you've been doing that hasn't been working? Or would you rather try something new? It is decision time. And I will tell everybody, watch very closely, not physician, not doctor, not nutritionalist, okay? That's not what I do. But what I do is shift energy. And when people have energy shifted, it makes it easier for them to go forward. It's like if you put a rubber band around, your finger and you pull it out and out and out, there's more resistance. Well, what if that was cut? Boom, there you'd go. That's what I'm helping people with. I'm sorry if it seems blatant or just really out there, and I'll probably watch my video later and go, oh, but it's go time, and it's real time. And I'm doing the best I can to relate this. I'm thinking next week I may write some things up on the board, but I'm going to continue to share on Instagram little steps. I'm going to continue to share on Facebook little steps. And if you like me, if you see this video and you like me, Facebook has changed their analytics, and used to I popped up in everybody's feed, not so much anymore. You have to click follow so that anytime a video is on, it'll pop up. Or if I post anything, it'll pop up. If you get tired, click unfollow. So this Friday, half-hour sessions, $45. It's 303-964-9339 to book. That's 303-964-939 to book in Denver. They're open from 10 to 5, I think, or 10 to 6 they're open. Call For Heaven's Sakes Books. Give them a call. Tell them you want to get on my books, and we'll see you then. I do have some people that are watching in India, hi, and I have a person watching in Great Britain, hi. And if you'd like to take advantage of that special, just contact me, because I know we'll have to make a time to meet via Skype or Zoom. So that'll be a little bit different platform. I don't see any questions. If everybody is still awake and on, give me some love, some thumbs, something. I don't know how that works on Instagram, but that's what's going on. So this body aches and pains is a little bit different kind of demon, if you will. It's not about something on the outside. It's about you. Thank you. Oh, thank you for the loves and thank you. It's about what's going on the inside. And this new technique is earth-shattering. It's just extremely amazing. And I've seen a lot of people online saying this energy, thank you for the love, and that energy is happening. But I see very few people saying, oh, here, I'll help you change it. I'll help you shift it. Yes, you still have to do the work. That's why I give people homework. Sometimes it's about exercise. Sometimes it's about meditation. Sometimes it's about journaling. But I will give you homework that will help you, and then we'll meet again to make sure you're getting your needs met. So that's it. Also, even myself today, sorry, I started to have a little sneeze. Excuse me. And I don't have allergies normally, so I noticed that was happening too, something running with the sinuses. Excuse me. Any other questions? Christy says I'm doing fine. Thank you, Christy. I really appreciate it. So I will post a blog on toolsofenergyprotection.com that covers this a little bit more if you'd like to read it or join me there. And if you go on my website, you can click follow, and every time that I send something out, it'll automatically email you from there. Or you're welcome to like me on Instagram or on Facebook. And that's all that I have. So I hope that you will take advantage of this. It's a wonderful healing modality. It's a wonderful gift that's been giving me. I will be at For Heaven's Sakes Books on Friday. It's 303-964-9339. It's $45 for the half hour. And then I will also be there on Thursday. That's my regular day that I'm always there. And I'm glad to see you. And you can come into the shop if you like. And I'll be doing the same kind of facilitating of this healing energy and getting you moving forward. I'm working on getting some testimonials, because I know sometimes it's just hard to take my word for it. But getting people to appear live on camera and talk about this sometimes is a little challenging, sometimes not. And I can certainly get them to write out some testimonials, and I can share those as well. So love you all bunches. Welcome to February. Be sure and tune in right here on Facebook Live next Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time, or go over to YouTube, my YouTube channel. Go to toolsofenergyprotection.com, places to plug in, and it shows the channel there for YouTube, and you can look me up there, and we can share stuff there. So anyways, please feel free to contact me with questions. Put questions down here in the feed. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you, and I truly appreciate your love and support. Have a great and wonderful night. Good night, everybody.